My dear friends, gather round and listen closely, for I have a tale to share with you. I used to think friendship was just about chemistry, laughs, common ground, shared memories. But I learned that real power lies in intentional connection. We weren't created to walk this life alone. Every giant in history, whether spiritual, political, or entrepreneurial, had people around them who shaped their journey. Your friendships aren't just relationships. They're mirrors, ladders, and sometimes warning signs. Strategic friendships don't mean using people. It means recognizing divine alignment. Think about it. David needed Jonathan. Esther needed Mordecai. Jesus walked with Peter, James, and John. Even the Son of God chose a circle. So I began to ask myself, who is in my circle? Who's sharpening me like iron? Who's challenging my fears? Not just comforting them. Strategic friendship is not manipulation. It's discernment. You have to recognize the people who pull greatness out of you, not just those who keep you comfortable. And once you've built that, then you can cultivate the sweetness of regular friendship, loyalty, joy, and the freedom to just be. But the foundation has to be strategic. The rest flows from that strength. There was a season in my life when I was surrounded by people, but I was still lonely. I had friends, yes, people to hang out with, vent to, even cry with, but none of them were builders. And one day, I realized I was trying to build a life with people who were only there for the breaks. You can't build an empire with party partners. That realization broke me, but it also saved me. I had to go through a divine pruning. God removed people I thought I needed. The silence was painful. The empty phone, the ghosted texts, the birthdays forgotten. It hurt, but it made space. I had to learn that alignment always follows isolation. You don't meet strategic friends until you've healed from needy friendships. You can't attract pillars when you're still clinging to pebbles. That was when I found out loneliness isn't punishment, it's preparation. God will clear the room before he brings the right ones in. So if you're in that season, hold on. Trust the pruning. Something better is coming. And when it does, you'll be ready to recognize it. There was a shift in my life when I stopped asking, what do they do? And started asking, who are they in the spirit? You see, the world teaches us to network based on status, fame, and access. But strategy in friendship starts with spiritual vision. I remember meeting someone who, on the surface, had nothing to offer me. No flashy job, no clout, no connections. But something in my spirit said, pay attention. That person later became a vital voice in my journey. We often miss our divine connections because we're wearing worldly glasses. The Bible says, man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. When you start seeing people through God's eyes, your friendships shift. You start seeing potential, purpose, and power where others see nothing. And you also start seeing red flags more clearly. Your discernment sharpens. So now, before I invite anyone close, I pray. I listen, not just to their words, but to their spirit. Because friendship is a soul tie, and I refuse to tie my soul to chaos. Strategic friendship starts with spiritual clarity. Let me tell you a secret. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay, and not everyone is meant to build with you. But some are purpose partners. These are the people whose vision complements yours. They don't compete, they collaborate. They don't drain, they pour. I remember when I met one of my closest allies today. We were both in transition, uncertain but hungry. We didn't connect over comfort, we connected over calling. And we made a decision, we would build each other. I started calling those people purpose partners. They hold you accountable when you want to quit. They remind you of who you are when you forget. It's not always fun. Sometimes they tell you the hard truth, but they never leave you in the mud. If you're going to move forward, you need people who are aligned with your assignment. Look around your circle. Who pushes you? Who stretches your thinking? Who is not afraid to challenge your excuses? That's your team. That's your tribe. That's your strategy. I used to think love meant access. If I loved you, I gave you everything, my time, my thoughts, my energy. But I learned that without boundaries, you'll bleed. Strategy in friendship isn't just about who you let in. It's about how close they get. Some people are bridges. They'll take you from one season to another. Others are buildings. You dwell with them. But you have to know the difference. Not everyone deserves full access. Some are there for counsel. Others are there for coffee. And that's okay. Jesus loved the multitudes, but he only confided in the 12. Even within the 12, there were 3 he took to the mountaintop. That's strategy. So now I set boundaries without guilt. I don't explain my peace. I protect it. I can love you and still not let you drain me. Because the truth is, the wrong people too close will delay your destiny. Strategic friendship thrives on clarity. When roles are defined, relationships flourish. Let me ask you, what do you bring to your friendships? Too many of us focus on what we can get, support, loyalty, presence. But real strategic relationships are built on mutual contribution. I had to ask myself, am I just taking up space in someone's life? Or am I adding value? That changed everything. I stopped showing up just to be seen and started showing up to serve. I started praying for my friends, promoting their work, protecting their peace. And guess what? The energy multiplied. Contribution doesn't always mean money or power. Sometimes it's perspective, encouragement, honesty. Sometimes it's just presence. But in a strategic friendship, everyone brings something to the table. No one is just sitting there eating. This is what makes those friendships sustainable. They're not built on convenience, they're built on covenant. So if you want better friends, become a better friend. Show up, pour in, make it mutual. That's where trust is born. Strategic friendships may start with purpose, but they only survive through authenticity. At some point, the masks have to come off. I remember the day I let one of my closest friends see me at my lowest. Not the confident, powerful me, but the broken, confused, almost quit version of me. I was afraid they'd pull back. Instead, they leaned in. That's when I realized strategy may begin the friendship, but authenticity deepens it. You cannot build a lasting connection on image alone. We need spaces where we can be unfiltered and still be fully loved. That's where real healing happens. But here's the challenge. Most of us are so used to performing that we forget how to be. Strategic friends must become safe friends. And that only happens when vulnerability is met with grace. Oh yes, I choose friends with intention. I seek alignment. But I also commit to honesty. Because I don't just want soldiers beside me, I want souls who truly see me. And that kind of friendship, that's rare. But when you find it, protect it with everything you've got. Trust doesn't happen overnight. It's not a switch, it's a seed. And psychologically, trust is built through consistency, not charisma. I used to confuse connection with trust. Just because we vibed didn't mean I could rely on you. I had to learn that trust is earned in the trenches, not the spotlight. Psychology tells us that repeated, reliable experiences create secure attachment. In friendships, this looks like showing up when it's inconvenient. It looks like keeping your word when no one is watching. That's how you build what I call soul credibility. And it works both ways. If I want to be trusted, I must be consistent. That's the root of strategic friendship. Because when the storm hits, and it will, you need people whose presence is not a question mark. You need people who are anchored. So take your time. Test loyalty before you trust with vulnerability. And when someone proves they can hold your weight, spiritually, emotionally, practically, then open your heart. Because that kind of trust, it's the foundation of unshakable friendship. There's a hurt that only friendship can bring. The betrayal of someone you believed in. I've been there. I trusted the wrong person. I gave too much too soon. And when they turned on me, it shook my confidence. But here's what I've learned. Disappointment is not just pain, it's data. It teaches you where you ignored red flags, where you gave access too freely, where you expected fruit from a tree that was never rooted. But don't let it harden you. Let it train you. Discernment grows through wounds. That experience made me wiser, not colder. Now I move with peace, but also precision. I forgive, but I no longer ignore. If a person consistently shows you they cannot carry your heart, believe them. Love them from a distance, and reserve your depth for those who've earned it. Disappointment is a teacher, not a curse. Don't waste the lesson. Use it to refine your circle. Because one strategic friend is worth more than 100 passive ones. Friendship is not static. It evolves. It weathers storms. And not every friend will walk with you through every season, and that's okay. I used to grieve every shift. When someone I loved grew distant, I thought I did something wrong. But life has rhythms. Some friends are for a season, others for a lifetime. The key is learning which is which. Strategic friendship means understanding the seasonal roles people play. Some come to launch you, others help you land. Some are there during the building, others show up at the celebration. And a few, very few, are there for it all. I've learned to bless the ones who had to go. I don't force what God is removing. I don't cling where there's no longer alignment. Instead, I honor the time we had, release the weight, and move forward. Because when you make peace with change, you make room for new strength. Friendship is dynamic. It grows if you let it, but it also changes. Don't fight it, flow with it. Build wisely, adapt deeply. Many of us grew up forming friendships based on survival. We found people who understood our pain, not our purpose. Trauma bonded us, pain connected us. And while that may have helped us cope, it didn't help us heal. I had to break that pattern. I realized I was collecting friends who shared my wounds but not my wisdom. We were stuck in a loop of survival, not growth. Intimacy in friendship comes not from shared dysfunction, but from shared transformation. We have to graduate. Yes, we hold each other in the dark, but we must also walk each other into the light. That's what real friendship does. It doesn't just cry with you, it climbs with you. So I started seeking out friends who challenged my thinking, who spoke life, who made me better. Friends who could laugh with me and pray with me. And slowly I moved from surviving in relationships to thriving in them. That's what I want for you too. Strategic friendship pulls you out of the trauma trap and into destiny alignment. After the pruning, the strategy, the discernment, something beautiful happens. You wake up one day surrounded by regular friends who feel like home. No pretense, no agenda, just love. The kind of love that feels like rest. That's the reward of strategic friendship. When you've chosen well, fought through the seasons, honored the lessons, what remains is gold. I now have people I can call at 2 a.m. and say nothing. People who know my scars, but don't define me by them. People who've seen me fail and still believe in me. That kind of friendship doesn't come overnight, but it does come when you commit to the process. So yes, start with strategy. Use wisdom, pray, protect your space. But don't stop there. Let it evolve. Let it deepen. Let it become beautiful and ordinary. Because in the end, life isn't about how many people know your name. It's about how many people know your soul. And when you find them, hold them close, laugh deep, love well, and walk this life surrounded by those you chose on purpose, with purpose. Your circle determines your future. Who's sharpening you? Who's holding you back? Like this video, if it resonates with you, then tag a friend who pushes you higher. If this hit deep, comment strategy. Let's build wisely.